today's event and just being able to have this event finally?
We missed it. I mean, the 15 minutes that our football alumni get up there, I mean, that's what makes this place different. And when I think of the experience that we can provide for the campers that we have here, I mean, our coaching staff. I mean, I've got guys on our coaching staff that they haven't even experienced this, and you really can't get the full experience of what the University of Miami means without having those people in the building. So, you know, it's just another sign of things getting back more to normal post-COVID, and this has been already an amazing night.
What were the looks you were seeing on some of those kids' faces when Michael Irvin was up there talking?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just remarkable, you know. And they're hanging on every word, which is great, as they should. And then we broke up in individual groups where the alumni can speak to their position group, and you're talking about a group that's been not just in the NFL but dominated the NFL. So it's just phenomenal to see.
I know you were fixing for visits, recruiting to open this month. What's it been like? Just, I assume, nonstop?
It's been unique, yeah. There's never been a June like it. It's been nonstop. And obviously, we're balancing official visits here this weekend, but it's been good. You know, I mean, this time last year we weren't doing anything, and we didn't even know we were going to play football. So it has been busy, but staff's worked really hard. Our recruiting staff's done a phenomenal job of keeping everything very organized for us. We really like the quality of the player and the person that we brought onto campus for visits. And but this cycle is going to be unique. It's going to be different. We're still a long way away from signing day. I think there's still going to be a lot of, you know, what the 22 and the 23 class will have gone through because of the dead period. It's going to make it a little bit unique, not just in terms of the recruitment, but even evaluation. So, but I like where we're positioned right now.
Manny, two quick football housekeeping things. Have you made a decision on Keontra Smith, weak side linebacker, or striker, and Amari Carter, safety or striker with those two?
Keontra will play will. Yeah. Amari will play striker, but I don't know if he will not still have some reps of safety. That'll probably depend on what our depth looks like, you know, early on in campus safety.
So it was good to see Don Chaney out here not wearing anything.
Right.
Are you optimistic about him and Ja'Gai Clark? Thankfully, he's fine after the car. Are you optimistic about those two for the opener or in question?
No, I think the news has been encouraging, considering Don and his availability for the opener. I think Ja'Gai may have a little bit further to go, but yeah, I think we're trending in a good direction with Don training, which is encouraging.
In your conversations with the 2022 players, have things maybe seemed more hectic or anxious considering they have a compressed time to get their recruitment done?
There's part of that. You know, what it reminds me of is back in the day when everyone really took their visits in January and then decided right before signing day, and so you go through all the visits and people would kind of make their decision at the end of the month, and there's some more similarity to that. I mean, the visit had almost become a coronation because most of our visitors in the past few years had already all been committed, and it was kind of like a big party when they were here, a big celebration. So this is a little bit more unique, but you still feel that urgency, but at the same time, you still recognize signing day is a long way away. There's a lot of ball to be played. So I think like I said, I think this class is going to have some. I'm not talking about our class. I just think the 22 recruiting cycle in general is just going to be unique with some close times.
Manny, you guys are unique with the number of commitments. It's been just like a lot fewer than there were kind of at this time last year. Is that being stressful? Do you kind of like it that you're not getting kids verbally committed early on and wondering what they're going to do the whole way?
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't bother me, and not because of a fear of decommitment phase. It just doesn't bother me because, you know, as we are recruiting, we are evaluating, and that's unique, right? You know, when have you ever had a month where many of the people you're bringing on official visits you're meeting for the first time? That's not the way that normally works. You know, you're sort of evaluating while you're recruiting. Normally there's a process to that. So, and they're evaluating us. You know, you can only learn so much about people on FaceTime and Zoom. You know, and I think just getting back into real face-to-face experience has been enlightening, not just for them evaluating us, but for us evaluating them as well.
Any summer workouts?
This cycle, would you say, and just because you said there's a long way to go, is that part of the equation at all too, or not?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of what in relation would be more picky too. I think we still feel like we've got the same standard. Look, it's a scenario where the kids are going to go look around. They haven't been able to go anywhere. So we're not a high pressure outfit. There's a lot of schools that kind of press the kids to try to commit. You know what I mean? I think they try to get some fake momentum because of that, and that's fine. They can win the recruiting, bake off in the month of June because that's not signing day. We want to be authentic in our relationships, and if a kid picks Miami, we want him to, we want it to be for the right reason. So like I said, I feel good about where we're at.
And the summer workouts, just overall, how are summer workouts going? Maybe a theme with your group?
Dave's been very encouraged. I would think most college coaches are always going to say our summer workouts are going great, but I can only tell you with the reports that I'm getting, probably what you would expect, just outstanding leadership. Older guys that are serious about putting in the work, and doing things the right way. I mean, a guy like Mike Harley is almost an assistant strength coach at this point, just with the effort he puts in, the way he works. So I think it's been. I think the guys are excited. We got one more week this week. We'll have a big run at the end of the week, and then we'll give them a little bit of time off for 4th of July week, the following week, and then really after that, it won't be long now. We come back at about 3 weeks in July of work, and then training camp this year goes really fast. We just did the schedule. It's almost 2 weeks of training camp with all kinds of new crazy rules, and then it's really 2 weeks of Bama prep, and we're in Atlanta, so it's going to happen fast.
You have a start date?
Any change in Ed Reed's rule, or you haven't seen him around?
No, he's not here today, but no, he's doing the same thing for us.
And then the individual work that you're able to put recruits through, I'm wondering how, obviously different than these guys.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to stick and stay as a rule, but I hope it does. It's been great. You get an hour, and to me, it's. I mean, certainly yes, you can get some evaluation from that, but I think it's great from the recruit standpoint too, because they can evaluate you as a coach and as a teacher, and compare that with other places that they've gone, and so I think that's been a real benefit to this cycle. We probably have more 23s and 24s at Paradise than what we normally would have, because the 22s, the rising seniors, are all either on visits or they're not working out, which is kind of the situation we're in. So that's been a great deal for us.
And then the 12-team playoff, I'm sure you've heard about that.
Yeah.
Just your thoughts on what you think of the proposal?
It is a proposal that there's obviously a lot of nuance that has to follow it, right? On the surface, a 12-team playoff is really good for college football. But there's a lot of other details that need to be worked out on how to make that thing fly. So it's like anything else. It's an idea. If we can agree on that idea, then there's a lot of steps in terms of what does that mean for the regular season? What does that mean for conference championship games? I mean, there's a lot of, sort of, okay, if then that, because, as everyone talked about, there was a scenario where somebody could play a lot of games. It's pretty rare, but it can happen. And so I think getting everybody on the same page with that will be important. There's a lot of change going on right now in college football, and that's only constant. And what this thing's going to look like in 5 years, if anybody can tell you, asking for lottery numbers, because the only thing I know is it's not going to look like what it looks like right now.
Are you excited for the NIL era?
I'm excited for our guys. Yeah, I hope that we've got a competitive advantage with that, and I think that's one of the great advantages that we can use here with our community and our city here in Miami. Obviously, being where there's a great economy like what we have here. As we tell our guys, they don't put professional franchises in small towns, right? And there's a reason for that. So if you want to maximize your brand, there's you generally want to go where the people are. And so I think that can be a great advantage for our guys, and hopefully we get off to a great start on that on the first.
I'm not sure if you're able to talk about the UNLV transfer, but the one freshman in your class that you haven't reported on yet is Cody Brown, just because he was a late addition. What does Cody bring? And if you are able to talk about the other kid, the veteran who is joining you as well, I don't know if you can with him.
I'll talk about Cody. Cody, tough runner, great size, can run through tackles, and then had the ability to, you watch film, has the ability to run through tackles and then go all the way. We felt like with Robert Burns leaving the program, that we were short maybe at running back, and then obviously, unsure of Don Chaney's status early on. We're happy, to be bringing in Thad Franklin. We just felt like maybe we were a guy short. The situation just kind of presented itself. We had a relationship with Cody through the recruiting process, and obviously with what everything went sideways at Tennessee. you know, and when he went in the portal, you know, then we had the ability to contact him. And I think the prior relationship that we'd had with Coach Hickson, I think there was a lot of already good feelings from him to us and from us to him, and it just kind of worked out. And we're really happy that he's here.
Hey Manny, Alabama coming up in 2 months. Obviously, it's something you've looked at. You embrace an opportunity like that to start the season?
Yeah, our guys are really excited because what we have to me, it's about us and our level of how we compete, and it's not our level of how we compete that night. It's our level of how we compete every day, and that's what we've been talking about all off season, is about making us enough, you know, and the way that we compete is enough, and having the confidence on that day. And you know, Michael Irvin just told the camp, he said, if Green Tree's your battleground, then game day is your playground, you know, and that sounds good, and we've been saying that to our guys for a long time, but as I mentioned, this spring was really the first time we felt like we had the depth to create the pure competition on that field, where the guys really had to compete at a high level every day just because to keep their jobs. And if we can continue that in what we're doing in the off-season program and the summer workouts, and then, you know, and then take that into a different level when we get to training camp, I think, you know, ultimately, look, you know, obviously, you know, we can speak all day about the great things that Bama's done in the last few years, but we're worried about Miami, you know what I mean, and getting us to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. And if we are, generally that's going to be good enough in most occasions. If we're not, it doesn't really matter who we're playing. We've kind of shown that over the last few years.